act of desperation. This was an act of public safety. Of saying, you know what, if they're not going to give us what we need to warn people during orientation week that these men are out there and that they are not safe. And so there was the publication of this list.
Yeah, the Hyde Park List. An anonymous group made a Tumblr and posted some flyers around campus as well, with the name of 6 individuals, past and present students at the university, who were alleged to have committed varying degrees of sexual assault. They had 2 codes, I believe, code orange and red.
And it wasn't a rapist list. Nowhere on there did they say that these men had raped anyone. There was a color-coded list of how strongly they would warn their friends about these men. And so they were accusing them of gender-based violence.
So, yeah, there was just an atmosphere of frustration and distrust of university administration over the handling of sexual assault cases. And so the list apparently grew out of that. Some people were for it. Most, I'd say, were against it in varying degrees. It wasn't perfect, but a lot of people were very vitriolic about what they saw as the witch hunt over these names.
One of the big problems that I saw in the media is starting the timeline at the publication of the Hyde Park List. The problem with starting it there is that this list was not published out of nowhere. This list was published after years and years of frustrations by survivors of taking their sexual assaults to administrators, to deans, to their advisors. And over again, their complaints were unheard.
Only got weirder from there because somewhere in there after that, there was sort of a retaliation that happened, which was a hack of a student website. It was the student, it's called Moda, it's the student fashion website, and a group called the U Chicago Electronic Army, that's what they called themselves, hacked the site's front page.
When they hacked it, they put the picture of a woman who was suing the university for their Title IX case that they assumed was responsible for the list, although we have no reason to believe that. We have no evidence that she did, but they assumed she did. And underneath the photo, it was a long list of things, but one of the most striking things were, if the class of 2008 doesn't pay attention to who's boss around here, we are going to have to rape harder.
This is crazy. No one knows who this entity really is. I tried to do a little bit of research over the course of the year looking into who it was. Nope, no leads. Nobody seems to, that I know of, could tell me who it is. Could easily just be a banner that several different people are hiding behind. Could be one person, could in fact be an army of like 10 dudes interested in hacking.
And the University of Chicago administration did nothing. They characterized this as an online feud between students. They said both sides needed to be civil. This was their only response. So we organized. I talked to a friend of mine and we said we need to do something right away. And within 4 hours, we had 200 to 300 students show up for a candlelight vigil. That a lot of students had heard about this and maybe were scared, and we just wanted them to know that there was a large group of people on campus who were there and who were going to take care of them and that we take care of each other. And then we had a speak out on campus that lasted hours. It was just amazing how many people came together and then felt safe from this event.
My name is Kay, and I'm a survivor. I'm also a student at the university. And what this piece is supposed to demonstrate is that survival is invisible, and that people who survive, survival is an act that they have to perform all the time, constantly.
And so what I think has to happen is just a fundamental change in culture on campus. I think that a lot of people are ignorant. I think a lot of people are scared. It is a very scary thing to show up for. It's really emotionally taxing to get up there and say, even to say, I'm a sexual assault survivor and that's why I'm interested in this. Or even just saying, I stand with sexual assault survivors, because it's taboo. It's on that level. It's the media, it's people you meet will treat you as if you have been damaged, that you're a slut, that this has anything to do with sex. You can't talk about it if you were not in the ultimate victim position. We need to stop talking about sexual assault and rape in a legal framework. Because if you are, only 3% technically count. If you're only going to talk about convictions, though I think maybe convictions is a little bit higher, but 3% of rapists spend any time in jail. So we need to start talking about it in a broader framework and stop talking about it in terms of blaming. We need to talk about it in terms of caring for each other. If you say, oh, I was raped, the first response from somebody else is, oh, I'm gonna kill him, which makes it about the rapist. We need to listen to survivors. That really needs to be number one. Listen to survivors, believe survivors. Tell survivors that we believe them, and that we believe them, and that their rapes are not incidental, that their rapes matter, that their voices matter.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, rape culture has got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, rape culture has